Set it live.
There we go.
There we go. We're good. We're good. This is how we start off today. It feels like a Monday, but it's actually Tuesday because it's Tech Tuesday. So, let's start that over. Welcome to another edition of Tech Tuesday, presented by Delta Media Group, where we feel that if Gandalf had just called up one of his birds and flown Frodo to Mount Doom to drop the ring in, it has saved everybody a whole lot of hassle in the long run. So today, we are going to go into the DeltaNet. We're going to take a look at the customer profile pages. We've made a number of changes to those pages over time here, so we kind of wanted to revisit them because we haven't in a while, and go over some of the things you can do there. So let's go into the DeltaNet and take a look. So we're going to go, there are several ways actually to get to the customer's profile pages in here. What we're going to do is go to Customers and down to Customer Center. Now you can also get there from this customer list or from leads and processed leads here if you wanted. All of those allow you to search your contacts or search your customers in the database, and then you can click on the view button on those pages or click on their name depending on which page you're on, and that'll take you through to their profile page. So from the Customer Center, you can see we've got our requests up here at the top, but if we scroll down to either the Hot New Customers section, which is just my customers with recent activity, or down here to the Customer Detailed List, we can click on the name of anyone in here, and that'll take me through to their profile page. So let's see. We'll go with Jane Tester, why not? So there we are. So this puts us on the customer profile page. Now from here, and we have a bunch of links along the top here that allow us to jump to specific sections on this page. So it's kind of a nice way to shortcut if you're looking for something specific. Especially stuff all the way down at the bottom of the page if I wanted to go to the ABMS to set up a reverse prospecting report. I can click there and it just dives me straight down to that part of the page. So that's kind of a handy shortcut mechanism there. But we'll just run down the line and kind of go through each thing and give you a little overview of what you can do. So first, if I have access from the company, I'm able to delete this customer. I should have a delete this customer button here. I would just click that, and then it'll bring up a prompt to confirm that I want to delete it. And if I click yes, that'll delete the customer. Or revert to the company, again, depending on your what that customer is, how they came to you, and what your company's settings are. But long story short, that's how you delete a customer. Next, we have the profile section. So this gives you all of the information specifically related to this customer. So all their contact information is here. And you can scroll down and see all the things available. Their grouping information will be here. Last purchase date, last sold date. If those things are entered, those will all show up in this section. Now if I want to edit any of that, I'll just click on Edit Profile, and that'll bring up this modal here, and then as I scroll down, you can see all the different fields that you can edit here. I'll just kind of hit a couple of the special fields. So we have envelope salutation, and it will actually use that as the salutation on any labels that you print for this customer. So if you want to print out mailing labels, and you don't want that to to have their name or what you have as their first and last name up at the top, you want something special there, this is where you can type in that field. Display name, it can use that on the email salutation. So if you type in a name there, that'll show up on the emails that you send out to this customer as their customer name. So you scroll down the line, you can see you can add multiple emails. So you have their primary email address, and that's what they would use to log in. But you can also add additional email addresses there if you want. So you just type out their email address. If you want to add more, you just click Add Another, and it'll just keep adding fields there. And then you can label each one of those based on what that email address is. You can set their password. So if you want to change their password that they would use to go to your public site and log into their portfolio account, if they want to save searches and save listings, you can modify that. And you can add social media links for them so that you have quick access to their social media pages. If you do add in links, we'll show you how that comes up. Probably have to do the whole thing actually. There we go. And I can add in multiple, so there's a Facebook. If I wanted to do an Instagram, I can add that in also. An address, secondary address. You can add additional addresses in here if you have multiple addresses. Some customers may have a different summer home, so you can put different addresses in there. Birthday, anniversary, and purchase date and purchase MLS ID. So if they have purchased home in the past, you can store that information in here also. And that's a good idea because the system can actually use that for some other things. Sold information, customer status. You can set up their groups here if this customer is assigned to you. In this case, this customer is actually a delegated customer, so I have it delegated out to another account. And because of that, I don't have the ability to group it. But normally you would be able to use this field to put it in one of your customer groups. And then all their company information. So once you have all their information in here the way you want, you just click Done. There you go, and you can see because I entered some social media links, I have kind of quick access to click out to their social media pages. Now this will just take me to the Facebook and Instagram homepage because that's what I put in, but normally you would paste in the actual URL of their profile pages there so that you can quickly jump over to those. So there you have it. Now if you want to add notes for this customer, the idea is that every time you contact them, it's a good idea to add a note, so you can do that here. So we would just add new note, type your note out. You can categorize your notes into custom categories, or you can categorize it as a call, or the really particularly useful one in most cases that you can categorize it as a pinned note. So if you go with that, that note's always going to stay at the top. So there we go. So this is a pinned note. Now as I add in additional notes, it's going to put those all in below this pinned note. So only one note can be pinned to the top. And the idea there is that if you have some information that every time you contact this customer, you want to be readily available, you know, say you remember what their dog's name was and you want to ask how their dog's doing every time you call, you can put that in this first note and pin it. That way you can see that right in front of you every time you contact them. Now as we run on down the page, the next thing you can do is you can add to-dos, and these will pop up on your login page, like when you first, well, not your login page, but your welcome page. When you first log into the DeltaNet, there's a to-dos widget there that will basically tell you what you have to do that day. So if you want to create to-dos as reminders to contact this customer, you would set those up here. Just add a new to-do, put in the information for it, what you want the action to be, whether you want it to repeat or not, and what day you want it to remind you. So that'll pop up in your to-dos list. You can save properties for this customer. So if I wanted to add a saved property, I can type in the address or MLS ID here. I can label how I want to attach this property to them. And the nice thing about these saved properties is not only are these favorited properties, like things that the customer were to favorite on the website or things that you want to point out to them, but also if they just purchased a home and you wanted to save it in here so that you could pull it up later on, you can use this for that. Same deal if they just sold a home. You could put the home that they sold in here so you can keep that attached to their account and keep record of that. And we keep expanding that functionality as to what we can do with those different listings as we go along. So that is what you would use there. Also, if they've saved any on the public side, you'll see them here. So let's say they've been spending a lot of time on your website, they've been interested in a lot of properties, and they saved them to their account. You could go in here, see what they are, and even hit Export Saved Property, and that can export that list so that you can have quick and easy access to those. Next, you can set up saved searches and market watch reports, and we've got other videos where we get into the specifics of how to set those up, but this is the section where you would do that. You would just click on Add a Saved Search, follow through the interface there to create a saved search for them. That'll notify them whenever any new matching listings come on the market. And you can also add a market watch that will periodically send them an email that gives them information about the market. So you can go through the Tech Tuesday videos to the ones particular to save searches and market watches to see the specifics as to how to go through setting those up. But this is where that would be done. Next, you can see all of the campaigns that they're attached to. So if I look here, you can see I have quite a few campaigns accessible to me on this test account. If I wanted to add this customer to any of these, I could just click the Add button, and that adds that customer to the campaign. I click Remove, and it takes them out of the campaign. Or I can click View and take me through and see the campaign from here. Next, under History, you can see all the interaction there's been with this customer. The main thing for this section is you can see any requests they've made on the website, so it's a handy way to see that. You can see any emails that the system has sent them automatically, so all these market watches, and if I want to see any specifics on that, so just on March 23rd, a market watch went out. So if I click that little arrow, it expands it, and then there's what the market watch looked like. This is particularly useful for Home Finder emails, which are the saved search emails. So I can see January 29th, it sent in my Home Finder email. If I expand that, I can see what actual property went out to this customer. And that's particularly handy. You know, say you get a call from a customer and They say, hey, you just sent me this email because you found these new properties that I like. The third property on the email I'm really interested in. What can you tell me about it? You can go to their page, actually find the Home Finder email that went out to them, expand it, and then you'll be able to see what that third listing was. So it just gives you easy access to be able to go in here and see what automated information went out to them. And then if they made any requests, so say they came to your website and they asked for information on a listing, you would see that here also, and you can expand that to get the details there. So in this case, they submitted a showing request on this listing on June 26th of last year, so it was a little while ago now. But with my arrow, I expanded, and then it gives me all the information about that listing. And when they requested the showing, if there were any comments there, all that would be listed out here. Also, anytime they log into the site, save a search or view a listing, all of that stuff is stored in here also. So it just lets you keep track of what kind of activity they've been going through on your site, so that you can see how engaged they are and how likely they are to really be interested in buying or selling a home. Next, we have our messages section. This is just a quick, easy way for you to either fire off a message or an email to this customer. Send new message will actually create a message that shows up in their portfolio account. So the next time they come to your website and log into their account, they'll be able to see that you left a message for them. It doesn't send them a text message. It's something that we're, text messaging is something we've been experimenting with, that we're looking into. But it is a common misconception, but that is not what this does. This was actually around before text messaging got real big, so that's why it's kind of phrased this way. But that is what that message means. The other thing you can do here is click on Send New Email, and you can send them out an email. You can see it just gives you an interface here. You can add an attachment. You've got a WYSIWYG editor here, so you can add in pictures, links, things like that. And that'll send an email out to the customer. And then next, you have the ABMS widget. What this does is anytime the customer goes to your site and they, if you have the ABM system turned on or the ABM page turned on, they go and they submit a property address and they get back a valuation for that property address, it will add that to this list automatically. And then if you have their address and you want to get a reverse prospecting report, or basically see how many customers would be interested in purchasing that home, you can go here, or would potentially be interested, I guess, in purchasing a home similar to that one. You could go here, see any of these reports, and click Prospect Report, and that'll give you the report on any of the addresses they've submitted. If you have a new address you want to submit, you can do that by clicking the Create New Prospect Report button, and then entering their address or MLS ID. Yeah, address here or MLS ID if you search active listings. So you can do either one. And that'll bring you back that report. And we have videos on the reverse prospecting reports also. But there you have it. That is the overview of the customer profile page. So as always, thanks a lot for joining me. As I said, there are detailed videos on each of the features we went over there. This one, this one's just meant to be kind of an overview of that page, so you can see what's there and what's available to you on that page. So thanks a lot for joining me. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to comment on this video or any of the others. Send an email into support@deltagroup.com or give us a call. So, thanks a lot, and I will see you again next week.